Do you want me to get into the backstory of the Teeth Fairy? He's one of my undergrad students. And it's because, as a candy, it rots your teeth and whatnot.
Exactly.
And what the Teeth Fairy, but for Halloween, would do is instead of letting the teeth fall out naturally and then you get money for it, he says, well, I know that you want candy because you've clearly eaten so much that it's happened into your mouth that I will come in and while you are asleep, I will give you a little bit of Novocaine and then I will just...
That's
I will
considerate
rip
of
it.
him.
I will rip the teeth, well, because he's ripping. If he wasn't ripping, then that would just be rude. I'm already breaking in yelling, who the fuck want it? The kids wake up, oh my god, slap them in the face, Novocaine needle right up in the mouth, rip out the teeth, shove some more candy under there, and we say, you'll thank me in the morning for this, because now you can have more yum. And we would say, you would have more yum is our way of saying, your teeth are gone, but we left you some hard candies to suck on, because we're fucking considerate.
Are there other versions of sort of holiday mascots or mythical figures that also have Halloween forms that mostly involve around breaking and entering into children's rooms?
Well, of course there is. There was an Arbor Day tree, but for Halloween.
Really?
That was one of my favorite pals. Unfortunately, he got killed in a car accident. It was a very minor incident for someone so magical and all-being, wouldn't you say? If
Arbor
God
Day
got in
tree,
a
but
car
Halloween.
accident, that would be kind of lame, wouldn't it?
Kinda, yeah.
So what he would usually do is, nowadays people hear that tapping of the tree on their window and whatnot.
And that's how they know it's Arbor Day.
People know but for Halloween.
But for
The
Halloween.
Arbor Day tree, but for Halloween. He would tap on the window. But what he would do is actually, he would shatter the glass for me.
That
when
seems
I
to
was
be the
breaking
recurring
into the
theme.
house. And so what he would do is he would shatter the glass and I would say, who the fuck won it? And then he would very aggressively point right at the child for me.
Exactly.
And then he would...
answering the question, in essence, that
Exactly.
the child the fuck
You
wants.
are the one who, because they're just waking up. They're in the daze. They can't say
Exactly.
we the fuck want it. They're all like, what? And then the tree points at them and he's like, oh yes. Pardon, I'm going to use my kid voice. The kid would be like, oh, that's me. I want it. But most of the time they're very out of it. And especially with the Novocaine, they're like,
there's a man in a tree and a fairy right in front of them. and they're
exactly.
little.
The Teeth Fairy for Halloween, Arbor Day for Halloween. There's a
Santa Claus for
Cupid
Halloween.
for Halloween as well. And
Interesting.
instead of shooting them with love arrows, he would just shoot them with an arrow to stabilize them in the bed.
So really you had like a whole A-team thing going on here. The Cupid but Halloween pins them to the bed with
Yes.
an arrow. I assume this happens after Teeth Fairy but Halloween has administered the Novocaine.
No, we have to stabilize them beforehand.
Before the
to
Novocaine.
make sure.
So the Novocaine is not only to prevent the pain from the teeth that are about to be pulled, but also to numb the pain from a literal arrow sticking a child
Because
to their
we
mattress.
need to wake them up so they go because
Exactly.
it's gross to open a child's mouth. We need them to just do it.
So in their howling screams of pain from being stuck with an arrow to their bed, that is when the teeth would be pulled and the candy would be
That's when the
administered.
Teeth Fairy come in, and that's when I'm putting the candy under the bed. Arbor Day tree's pointing like you, the one who's gonna lose the
Exactly.
teeth and get the candy. We used to have it's a very interesting one because most people don't understand how this would work. We used to have a dreidel, but for Halloween as well.
A dreidel, but
and
Halloween.
Most people didn't think that we got along. We got along
yeah.
fucking terrifically.
I'm trying to think about how Dreidel but Halloween would fit into the sort of sting operation you had going with the candy delivery.
Well, it's very, very simple because we would have a dreidel for Halloween, and then we would also have a New Year's firework for Halloween.
But Halloween.
Yes. And so what would happen is we would obviously after we've done the whole teeth thing and the candy thing, we say now we need to, kind of spruce up the memory, lighten this and whatnot, and there's going to sting a lot. So what we do is we jam like a really big dreidel in their mouth, for like as people would do with towels or any
Sort of
kind
numb
of
the
bark,
pain,
so
yeah.
they could bite down on this
On the
dreidel,
dreidel.
and the dreidel would be screaming dreidel, 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 dreidel. But it's screaming because it's in the mouth, so it's
Exactly.
very quiet. Dreidel, 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 dreidel. And then we'd put one firework right next to the ear and one right next to the left eye, and we'd light them both off using what can only be known as the St. Patrick's Day ass fire, but for Halloween. Yes, but ass fire, but for Halloween, because there is no ass fire, but it's just the one that's for
It's
Halloween,
just the fire.
and still will always be for Halloween. And what it was is we light it with the little Leppy would come in and he would put the lighter up to his ass cheeks and light this firework over here, firework over there, bang, and you deafen that one ear. bang, you're blind in
Blind
both
in one
eyes
eye.
because it fucks up the whole cornea configuration behind the eyes.
They're very complicated pieces of organic machinery.
Yes, and we had this whole intricate system. People hated it, and we'd do this and we'd do that, and then they'd be like, "What the fuck did this happen?" And we thought, "Well, wait a minute. If we leave behind evidence that this man is deaf in one ear and blind in both eyes, and the candy's under the bed, and he's been stabbed through the stomach, or
There's
maybe
an arrow pinning him to the chest.
through the heart, and his mouth is numb, he's missing teeth,
missing teeth.
and he's also got an egg laying on his knee
From Easter Bunny But Halloween.
Easter Bunny about Halloween."
Is the dreidel still there, or has the dreidel left with you?
The dreidel is very in and out. We never know where he
Literally in and out of the mouths of children.
He chooses, and it's very interesting whether he stays or not. Because as we all know, in the timely tradition, and this is before it was taken by the Jewish culture and whatnot, the dreidel. What he was really going for is he was saying dreidel, 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 because he was lonely and wanted a home. And the reason he spins is because he drills into things, wondering if he can, dig in and burrow himself a little home. And the thing is, if you were a good boy, the dreidel would leave. But if you were a bad boy, the dreidel would say, "I like it here," and he would drill himself down in and burrow and make a little home within
in the throat cavity of children.
within the throat cavity, and that's why a lot of people have that cough. If you cough,
That's where that cough came from. That cough that everyone has.